Any other questions? Peril yesterday? No? Ooh, okay. Part for me of the business that I'm involved in terms of change work is kind of central and fundamental to certain values I have. And that's something along the lines of, I don't think anyone should live in sort of suffering, or what they call, or what I would regard as suffering. And my job, what I've chosen to do, is help people find ways to alleviate that. And there's a story I want to tell you about this. 4:56 to 5. No. I'm trying to think of it. Does anyone know the little fat guy who was famous? 3 something. Not a dwarf. Not a dwarf. It's not Danny DeVito. He looks a bit like Danny DeVito. Got a lot of statues, but none of them of this person because no one knew what they looked like. Oh. That's the guy. Have you heard of this? See, no one knows he was a skinny little guy, a fat guy, but there's all these statues of effigies of Buddha where you've got ones where Buddha's like that and the corona behind him, the matriarch Buddha, the healing Buddha, so you've got the little fat guy with huge earlobes. Don't know what that's about. It's people doing that in his ears. Oh, we'll rub the Buddha's ears for a look. So the Buddha was around from 568 to 486 or something like that. Roughly the same time, several people kind of sprung up around the earth, like Pythagoras being another one, Darius, who started not necessarily world religions, but world spiritualities, world teachings, The Buddha's idea was a bit different to everything else at the time, and still mostly is. There's no gods in Buddhism. There's something about nature and spirit which is similar to another guy that was around the same time, Confucius in China, had an idea of the Tao or the social Tao. But in any case, Buddha, like Jesus, our Western tradition, there's a lot of stuff written about Jesus and Buddha, and you can take it in one or two ways. You can take it like mosaic, literally, and there really was a Jesus and he walked on water and the devil was there and tempted him with biscuits and Doritos or whatever. Or you can take in the sort of the more metaphorical, parable-like suggestion of these stories are not literal, but they're trying to point to something that can't be described in words. So Buddha had a similar kind of upbringing-ish to Jesus. Buddha was born of a prince. Jesus was born of a virgin from God and all that good stuff. And they both, until they kind of hit their peak, if you like, and then developed more, they had a wild time that would sort of encountered drugs and partying and discovering about life and trying this meditation, this religious group, that one. Until having tried a whole bunch of stuff, they stuck it out on their own and discovered something for themselves that they then shared with the rest of the world in different ways. And with different interpretations by people that mostly weren't there at the time. One of the stories of Buddha is, after he travelled a lot, he was sitting under this beautiful big bull tree in a place called Bodh Gaya in India, and he travelled and studied with this person, that person. He thought, shite with it, I'll find my own way. And there's something about finding your own way. So he's sitting under a tree, as the story goes. Got no concrete proof of this. His legs crossed, eyes closed. If he had a big belly, his hands might have been on. If he had a little belly, they were probably there, right? Make up your own. That's your Buddha. So it's sitting, and he's approaching the point of illumination, whatever that means. And there's certain deities and monsters and gods don't actually want this, and there's other ones saying, yes, this is so good, cool. And at this point where he's almost there, there's this great big demon, terrible thing called Karma Mara. And this is the demon, well, in its first aspect of karma, this is a demon of temptation. And what any good demon does, instead of facing the potential Buddha to come on its own, he sends his 3 daughters in to sort him out. And his 3 daughters are called desire, lust, and regret. And the Buddha, or potential Buddha, is unmoved by those. Desire, lust, and regret is past, present, and future. Was that you?
Desire and
just like, who's got a knife? Careful. So there's desire, lust and regret. Past, present and future. Not in that order. I'm going to write them down for you in a different order. So Buddha dismisses these three visions. And then this big demon is furious and transforms into Mara. This is a sort of lord of fear, and he brings his army of orcs and hobgoblins with spears and lances, and there's thousands and millions, and it takes on the entire world, and they come charging at Buddha, and they throw all their weapons at him. And Buddha's not moved by that. All of the spears, the daggers, the knives, the insults, they kind of dissolve and change into lotuses in his Buddhily presence. Isn't that nice? And then this demon is fucking furious. Now he's going to kick off. So he charges up and he takes on a new form. This is called Dharma. This is something to do with your duty. And this demon shouts and screams at Buddha and goes, "You there! Siddhartha, Prince Buddha, who the hell do you think you are? You little worm. Your people need you. How dare you stop and go off and do your own thing? This country needs to be ruled by you." And Buddha kind of goes, "Whoa. Don't you try and move me with this political, journalistic, pompous crap. I can follow my own path. I have no duty to people, even though I'm born a prince. I have no duty to you." And at this point, this demon is furious, screaming, as demons do. And Buddha goes, "Shh." Puts his hand up like that, which is a teaching hand. And he touches the earth with the other hand, called Bhumi Spasha. Earth touching hand. In other words, I'm not going to be moved. And he calls upon the universe, the goddess, to verify who he is. And the goddess comes along and quite sternly says to this great big demon that's in the form of Dharma Karma Mara, says, "Look, this young man, Siddhartha, has went through many incarnations and many forms of spiritual awakening, and now is an awakened Buddha. Get down on your knees before the Buddha." And this monster disperses and goes off, and there we have a Buddha that's enlightened, and it sits there going, "Whoa!" Goes silent, goes eyes closed, and stops moving for 7 days. I like that story.